Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Love is in the air, and so are big savings. It's the Big I Do event at Sartor Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions, April 4th through the 6th. For 3 days only, enjoy 20% off all engagement rings and wedding bands, plus exclusive bridal collections from our top designers. Whether you're saying yes or I do, shop now for the year's best prices and selection. April 4th through 6th, Sartor Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Chancellor Brewington, powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome into What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Jackson Kleinschmidt back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios, but I have your host, as always, streaming in. Chancellor, how are you?
Can you hear me?
There we go. There you are.
Yeah, there we go. How you doing, man? I'm good.
Yeah, I'm doing great. It's not as gloomy here in Lincoln. So, good day. Nice and bright Saturday.
That's always good. That's always good to hear. I was talking to Harrison. He said it was a little windy. It was a little windy and a little chilly this week.
Yeah, it was pretty windy last night. I could hear it like wisping on my window when I was trying to sleep. So yeah, it's been pretty windy and a little rainy all week, but
there we go. Well, it's good to be on ticket weekends. Me and Harrison been doing ticket weeknights, and it's been going good. For the people listening that aren't familiar with the weekend style of how we do this show, it's a little bit more, philosophy, a little bit less sports, just thinking out some concepts. And I got a fun one today. Okay. I got a list for the people that haven't kind of been on this journey or kind of heard my journey, I set out last year to read 100 books. And I finally completed it actually like 2 weeks ago. So I hit my marker, and it was,
Oh, that's awesome.
Pretty cool. It was, whatever, right? At the end of the day, it was, you think it's going to be like this amazing experience, and then it's just really another day, right? It's kind of how it works in life. It's just a accumulation of experiences. But I had the experience, and I obviously got a lot from it, right? But I was just thinking back, like, what did I really learn? And I kind of been in this like reflection period for like 2 or 3 weeks of just like, okay, like, what did I really learn? Like, what did I take away? Like, what were some of my favorite books? Like, is there books I would read again? And I was gonna do a show on just like top 10 books, but I thought it'd be cooler just because the basis of like why I went on the journey was for personal development. I think I just want to, well, I know for sure I just want to become the best version of myself, right? I mean, I think most people will say that. I think the harder part in that statement is actually like what comes along with that. And I don't think because on the football side of things, you kind of are in football. And I remember how my days were structured in football. Like, you work out, you make sure you eat, you make sure you take a nap, you might have film, you might have whatever, walk through, and then you go to sleep. And there's no, I mean, that's great. You're working on your body, you're working on your mentality for football, or, your football IQ, you're processing the playbook as fast as you can, all that good stuff, right? But you're not really working on yourself. That's an aspect of yourself, but you're not really like working on yourself. And so this whole journey, and it's awesome because I think there's been so many people along the way, and I'm only saying this about me because this is my experience, but I know plenty of people can relate to this. That's why I'm saying it, because I know there's so many people that go on this, and it's like, oh, that's why that happened. You look back, like, you're in a mode of like reflective, like, oh, like, that's why that happened. And there's so many people that come along the journey and help you, and, just give you a nudge here, or even maybe it's a negative thing, but it also turns into a positive at the end of the day. But actually, so last week we were doing Think and Grow, or this is probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago. We were doing Think and Grow Rich. So you got the book. How has it been going? Yeah. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but how's it been going?
I haven't picked it up in a little bit. I'm still kind of at the beginning. I got a little bit busier these past like week and a half, a little bit. And also coming back from spring break definitely was, yeah. So I need to pick it up again, but it was good. Like so far, in the beginning, like it's a lot of the stuff that, we were talking about too. So I'm kind of seeing it and, reading it and interpreting it in my own way. But it's some interesting stuff, man.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think that's beautiful. And I like that, how you said that, interpreting it in your own way. That's the key. That's the key. So today I was doing some like just quick research. I'm like, okay, like what are in personal development, like what are like the 10 key, components, principles, strategies, whatever you want to call it. And I have 10. I have 10, and I saw some online, and I kind of changed them out, put some of my own in there. So the first one is goal setting. And we've talked about this with Think and Grow Rich. The first, I believe it's in Desire and Faith and all these different things. The first couple of chapters is all about making it super clear on what you want. And I think like when in my younger days in football, I didn't really understand what that meant. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I would set a goal, and it would be to do something. And if it didn't happen, I would feel like it, it was pointless in setting it. And so like, now that I look back, I'm like, man, like, maybe I didn't really understand what goal setting was. I think it's really important to have a big goal, and then like take real conscious steps every day, like super, like it could be the most minute, smallest thing, but if it's a step in the right direction, eventually you'll hit it, right?
Yeah.
And I think the goals, I think goals like material goals are fine. Me personally, and a lot of people feel differently. Me personally, I don't see nothing wrong with material goals. I really don't. But I think as much material things, I think the material things are kind of like a product of who you are, right? So I think the becoming, or like the internal development of the individual is like, it is kind of precedes the material accumulation of things, like I think that's what starts the process, is the internal development. So I would say now my goals, and I'm so open now to different mindsets, and I'd love to hear what you think about this, just a different mind and a different way to look at it. But from a goal setting perspective, I think it's really important for me nowadays is to have like kind of, they're clear, they're defined, but kind of abstract concepts like how can we be more appreciative for the moment today? Like that's a goal in itself. And it's not really one, it's measurable, but it's kind of like a little bit more abstract. But I think those are the ones that I focus on more. And before it was like, especially in football, it's, the yards, the catches, the, whatever it is, right? The stat, the weight, the body mass, the body fat, whatever it is, right? But I think now it's more so like, okay, like those things aren't really as important because I'm not playing football. So where else can I focus my energy? And I think the more I've noticed that the more I focus my energy on myself, just things get better. And it's not, and I mean, and it's almost like that's selfish in a way, but it's not. I think it's like that's almost like your obligation to society is to become the best version of yourself. So that's my 2 cents on the goals. What do you think about that?
I like that. That makes that really does make a lot of sense. Like you put it in the football terms, but it's interesting, like going through every day and just like living in the moment. That's kind of what I got out of it. Like living in the moment. Like every day is gonna be different. Kind of like you're gonna have some good days. They're gonna have some like bad days, but there's so many positives that you can. There's always gonna be a positive. Like take the good out of every day is something that I like to say, and I've heard that before. So I like that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think I like that, the good out of every day, because it's almost like we lay our heads at night and we wake up and like it's like the present moment, like the now. Like if you were to say like what is the present, like what is the moment now that we have? Like everyone says stay in the now, the now is this and this. Well, the now just passed. It's you just missed it. It's always now. There's no, and it's eternal. Like it keeps going forever. So if we were to just stay like in the now, I mean, the past wouldn't really be much to us, right? Forget the things of old, press toward, the things that are coming. But even the things that are coming are just like passing through the funnel of now, and eventually they'll be in the past. So it's really like was the movie in the 80s, the Razor's Edge. Like there's a real fine line between being too much of like being in the now, but also being conscious of what you want, and then also being conscious of like where you've been, because you want to learn from those things, because like those things are there for you to learn. And I guess that's another thing I realize, and I think everyone listening and everyone on earth can realize, is that like everything you've been through is for a reason. Like there's no coincidences, right? There's my name is Chancellor. We used to say growing up, like there's nothing by chance, right? Like there's nothing that just happened to happen, right? It's in the moments you say, I don't know why this happened, it's probably just because you aren't aware yet, right? And the more you do searching, the more you go, the more questions you ask, because quest is just like, if you break down the word question, it's almost like a quest for information. That's how you get questioned, right? So you go on a quest for the information, because think about it. If you go back on an experience. Let's say someone's going back I'll use some personal, a football career, right? Something that's in the past that I no longer have, right? But there's a lot of, experiences, different things that happen there. Okay, if I go back on that and I go to the experience, there's a lot of information in those experiences, right? So if I go to the experience and extract the information and use it in my present moment and say, okay, I need to become this, I need to get better here, I need to do better here, and then I can, do X, Y, and Z in the future. I think that's success. I think that's success. I think, and then it goes to like the version of success we see is like the material things, but I think that's success when someone can look at their past and say, okay, I might have messed up or I did good, right? It doesn't have to be bad. I did good, I did bad. Pull the information and then use it in the present moment to become something or to accomplish something in the future. And I think the whole process of that is success too. It's not like once you extract it and use it in the future, you're successful. I think it's actually like the act of doing that in the present is success. So that's goal setting. A lot of people feel different ways about goal setting. Like you should do it. You should do micro goals. You should do macro goals. You should list out a thing of 10 things. I saw an interesting interview of one of my favorite actors, Matthew McConaughey. He's done Interstellar. He's done Dallas Buyers Club. He's done We Are Marshall. He's done so many great ones. He's a phenomenal actor. He's Mud, Gold, everything, right? So he has a book called Green Lights. And the concept of the book is basically that, you have red lights in life, you have yellow lights, and you have green lights. And the more green lights you can stack on top of each other, you can build momentum and it can get you to where you want to go in life, right? And so he had like a big old thing of journals from like 12 years old up until like 35, right? Or 40, whatever it was. And so he had it in this big treasure chest, and he gets an idea to write the book, and he's going through all these. But on one of the journals in the treasure chest, he had a list of 10 goals. And, I believe this was the stardom of his career. And I think he popped off at like 20 or 21. So around like 21 or 22 years old. And he accomplished each one of them. And at the time he actually I just lied. He said he actually made the list before he was an actor. And he said on the list that he wanted to win an Oscar. And he wasn't even an actor yet. He wanted to be, behind the camera. He didn't know if he wanted to be in front, but for some reason, right, he was led to put on the piece of paper that he wanted to be an Oscar winner. So he looks back and he looks at these 10 goals and he accomplished all of them. And he's never looked back on it since he wrote it. And he also signed the bottom of it. So he signed the bottom of it, and Matthew McConaughey signed it himself, but he just put it away and never looked at it. So some people have different philosophies on goals. Like you need to write it out every day. You need to read it every day. You need to carry it in your pocket. You need to, there's so many different strategies on this, but I think the overarching like commonality in all of this is that something written on paper goes a long way. And I don't know why it is. I don't know if it's like the neuroscience of like once you write something, you become familiar with it, and now you start to look for it. But there's something with writing goals, and I think it's super important. And I think ancient civilizations have done it for thousands of years. But I think when there's a clear vision, there's a biblical scripture. It says, when there's no vision, the people perish. So it's like when there's no set destination for not only an individual, but for like a community, people perish. You can say perish, or there's chaos, or there's no real alignment within the society. So I do think on like a micro level of, individuals listening, me and you, but also like macro level, United States, city, business, whatever, like this is where we're going. This is the goal. So I think it's also, you kind of have like this like navigating system within the human, whether that's your subconscious, whether that's your brain, whatever it is, that kind of, it detects like a deviation from the set goal. So like, the goal is to be here and your actions aren't lining up with it. If you really believe you're going to get there, eventually you'll get back on track to get there. And so I think that's super interesting.
Huh. Well said. Well, we're going to go ahead and take our first break of this show, but don't worry, we still got plenty more to come. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and my schedule can get a little hectic. From softball practices to going to class, traveling for games, spending time with family, and catching up with friends, I am always on the go. I want a bank that can help me from anywhere, but also be there when I need them. That's Midwest Bank. They have the same mobile banking technology as those big banks, but have that hometown feel that I like every time I walk through the doors. They make banking easy no matter where I am. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hey volleybalfans, this is Laura Dijkema, national player of the Netherlands and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
I used to smoke. I thought of cigarettes as my best friend.
They were always there for me when I needed a break.
I also thought cigarettes were my best friend, and then they gave me peripheral artery disease. I smoked and had a stroke. Actually, multiple strokes.
I smoked and have heart disease.
Here's my tip. If cigarettes are your friend, you need a better friend.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome back into What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington here on 93.7 The Ticket. Taking you through the next hour here until 12, and then DP will come in here, take us through from 12 to 1. So let's keep on keeping. Chancellor, you got to unmute yourself.
There we go. There we go. So we just got done with the first one and goal setting, and so many people feel so many different ways about it. And I think that's why it's so fun to kind of study and like learn about, is that so many people do it so many different ways, that there's not just one way to do it. And I think, some people can make their money on saying like, this is the way to do it and you need to do it this way. But then like, you just, do a little bit of research, do a little bit of study, and realize like, oh, wow, they did it this way. So that's possible. Right. But I think the common theme there, like I said, was just writing something down. I think that's super valuable. The next one I really love is embracing continuous learning. And I think that's the reading. And I think we're blessed now with YouTube. I mean, you can go extract someone's information of 25 years of experience, right? And get that and be able to apply it to your life. But I think the emphasis in that phrase was the continuous learning, that it never stops. And I think you see that in the greats. I forget what book it was. There was a book and it was talking about, I believe it was Warren Buffett. And Warren Buffett does like this dinner, and like it's like I believe it's kind of like raffle based, and I think like it might be like a 4-hour dinner. And this individual paid like $1 million just to sit and have lunch with Warren Buffett. And I believe how it goes is that the individual was sitting in front of Warren Buffett, and Warren Buffett was asking him questions and trying to learn about his profession, his line of business, where he came from, his childhood, his this, his that. And like the whole meeting was literally not about Warren Buffett. It was all about the other guy. And it was all because Warren Buffett wanted to learn. And I think it's like this curiosity that's super important. And you kind of see it in a lot of greats. And a lot of people who have accomplished things is like this constant curiosity. I believe there's an Einstein quote about curiosity as well. But it's like the one who sees something and questions it, not in like a combative way, like I'm right, they're wrong, but it's kind of like, oh, why does that happen? Like, why does that? Why do you guys see it like that? Or, why is there a gap in this knowledge? Like, is there a way we can bridge this together? I love, like, some I've become very, very, very curious about is the like biblical stories. I think the biblical stories are awesome. And I try my best not to look at them from a religious point of view, and just really try to get the meat and potatoes out of everything and really respect the text. Because I think it needs to be respected in whatever way you want to respect it. But I think there's just a lot of parallels, a lot of synchronicities, a lot of metaphysical, whatever you want to call it. But just like the curiosity within that and understanding like, hey, I don't know. I think the first part of like learning and knowledge and stuff is like, oh, I don't know this, right? Like you kind of have to admit you don't know something to learn it, right? Or to even be curious about it. Like, man, I don't know anything about this subject. And I think there's also, I forget who it was, but he was talking about once you first learn something, you think you know a ton about it. Like you think you know a ton about it. And then all of a sudden, the moment after you do a little bit of research on, a broader spectrum, you realize you know very, 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 very little. And that there's masters that have spent over, what they say, mastery is 10,000 hours. Who knows what that means? But more like there's masters that have spent their whole lives, to a certain subject. And on the spectrum of where you are and where they are, you're like, it's not even close, right? You're like a average Joe trying to run in the Olympics, right? Like it's just not, not comparable. It's almost not comparable. But then you gain more experiences, you learn some more, and then you eventually, level out a little bit. But I think the continuous learning is awesome. And I think it's not only about like books and topics, for me at least, and this, I have very, very, very limited knowledge. I'll be the first one to say I definitely don't know much at all. At all. Like, my goodness, there's some really smart people out there who know a lot more and have, taken a lot more time to do stuff. But I will say that I'm on the active pursuit of trying to learn as much as I can, right? I think that's why you go on this journey. But it's the people who not only learn the books, but learn themselves. It's the learning of yourself that I think is like, I think that's where power is. I think that's where another one on this list is habits, behavioral habits, like things you do on, consistently, things that, whether it's like actual physical habits or mental habits, emotional habits, those type of things. Because I think sometimes we think, at least I did, and if I thought it, I know someone out there thought it, is that, this is happening because it's happening, right? There's no like real cause on, there's nothing I'm doing to make this happen, right? Kind of this, like, I wouldn't say like egotistical, but like just not really knowing. It's kind of this like ignorance is bliss mentality. Like, oh, this is just happening because it's happening. Well, I think the deeper you go into learning yourself, you're like, oh, wow, like I had some type of effect on this. Right? Like, oh, if I switch the way I think, or if I switch the way I treat this person, or if I switch the way I treat myself, this situation might actually change. But I think you won't make those changes, I believe, if you're not aware of it first. Right? It's really hard to change something if you're not aware of it. And I think the awareness comes through just observing, and observing in a way that isn't judgmental to yourself. That isn't like what's the word? Almost like shameful, but it doesn't, not condemnation, right? That you don't want to hurt yourself by observing yourself and judging yourself. Like, that's not the goal of self-development. I think the goal of self-development is honestly to observe it and just say, okay, wow, that's interesting. Okay, how can we fix that? Right? And it's solution based, not in this revolving circle of never being enough. Because now that's like you're getting to self-worth, you're getting into all these different things. So that's not the goal. I think it's continuous learning of yourself through awareness, through observation, and then learning through others. Like Isaac Newton says, standing on the shoulders of giants who have came before me. He said that's what he attributed his success to at 26 years old, when he found discovered the law of gravity and all these, great scientific laws of, of physics that have, governed this, well, what we say, existence for, the last 100 years, I would say. So it's the standing on the shoulders of the people who have gone before you, learning from them. But also, like, man, I think I've realized probably in the last month that everyone's a teacher. Like, everyone is here to teach you. Like, Jackson, you're teaching me. Like, if I observe you enough, if I am aware of like how you're handling situations, how you're communicating with me, how you handle others, in some way I can learn from you. And also in some way, and in some way, I think it was Confucius. He said that in every man is superior in some way. So there's something that Jackson does that Chancellor doesn't do, and you're superior to me in some way. So I can actually learn from you, right? And I can apply this to every individual I come across. But if I'm closed off and I don't want to learn, then there's a real problem there, and then the learning probably will never happen. But I think it's the continuous learning of, we went from books and knowledge, and I think that goes into staying on the shoulders of giants who come before you. That's kind of mentorship too. That people say like a physical mentor, which is awesome, and I believe in that. And I'll say, I believe that words live forever too. So I think I can go to Napoleon Hill. I think I can go to Andrew Carnegie and kind of get the spirit of what they were trying to say, but also have a physical mentor who's guiding me, who's been in the thing that I'm doing, who says, kind of that like tour guide, right? Through the safari, like, hey, I've been here before, take this left. Hey, watch out for this over here. Once you get across this river, there's going to be this, there's going to be an alligator, crocodile, whatever it is, right? Like, be careful for this, right?
Yeah.
And I think those things are valuable. And I think, I don't know how, I really don't know. We'll see. But I don't know how much our generation, how old are you?
20.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we about 5 years apart.
Yeah.
And we're basically in the same generation, but I don't know how well our generation is doing with this. I think our generation obviously catches a lot of flack from, maybe laziness of selfishness, of, self-absorbed, whatever it is. But I think maybe if a few people, if a few people can go and find out who they are and then just show some people how to do it, I think that can go a long way. And I think we've seen that throughout history. Some amazing individuals, kind of come in particular times where society needed them, where like society really, really needed them. And, they helped advance the culture. They helped advance society. So, I think when those people come around, we have to acknowledge them, and we have to actually like respect their craft. Cause I think, those people are destined to get a lot of hate and destined to not be understood. But yeah, I believe that I think there's hope for our generation. I really do. Who knows what's going to happen in the future, but I got hope, and that's the second one. And we kind of did another one with the behavioral habits as well, because we have to examine those to become better. And I think off of that also goes like self-discipline too, is examining those habits, and then having the willpower to say, I'm not going to do that anymore. Right. If the food is the issue, I'm not going to do it. If the going out at night is the issue, I'm not going to do it. And it's so much easier to say this right now than to actually apply it. And but it's also, it's easy not to do it, and it's easy to do it. Right. Like, it's so easy to, and it's like more so the things that lead up to self-discipline. Like, it's so easy to make your bed. Right. But it's really easy not to do it. Right. It's so easy to, say an affirmation every day on, or say your goals out loud in the mirror, and tell yourself, 3 nice things you like about yourself, right? Not in an egotistical way, just in a self-affirming way, right? But it's really easy not to do those things. So it's like this really like thin line of like, man, let's just do it. And let's redefine what hard is. Let's redefine, all these different, words. Let's redefine selfish. Let's redefine all these things. But I think from self-discipline, I think you get confidence as well. I think you get a different type of whatever self-esteem is. I don't know, there's debates on if self-esteem is even a real thing or if it's made up, or self-identity, how you see yourself. I think that's important, how you see yourself. So I think that changes through discipline. If I'm, working out or whatever the thing is, like if I'm doing my thing every day, and I know I'm putting forth towards a particular goal or objective, I believe at some point I would start to feel really good about myself, and this isn't in a narcissistic way, but I would feel good about myself that, man, like I'm really moving towards something. And because I'm moving towards something, I don't know, there's like just a different zeal behind me. There's a different energy behind me. Like I know it's going to happen now. And I think it's through those like baby conscious steps. And it kind of goes back to goal setting too, is those conscious steps of, you set the macro goal, but those like little micro steps that you take every day, every lifetime, every day. And then you eventually get there. And through taking those steps, to take those steps, you need discipline, and to have enough time to, perform those tasks. I think you need to clear up your habits and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, we'll go ahead and take our second break of this show, and we'll come back on the other side with a quick one and then send it home. All right. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Are you facing a legal problem and don't know where to turn? You need trial attorneys you can trust. Liberty Law Group's experienced trial attorneys will handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Whether you have been accused of a crime, injured in an accident, or threatened with a lawsuit, you can trust that Liberty Law will be there for you. Call for a free consultation and find out how Liberty Law can protect your rights and interests. That's 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY, or visit libertylawnebraska.com. Liberty Law Group, trial attorneys you can trust.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett.
We're in Baton Rouge at the original Raising Cane's with the man that started it all.
Wait, are you the Yes Chef guy?
Todd started this place 28 years ago with one goal in mind: making the best chicken fingers in the world. We got their famous box combo, chicken fingers, crinkle cut fries, Texas toast slaw, and their world famous cane sauce. Could shed a tear right now.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love. Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Now's the perfect time to get even stronger at Planet Fitness. Save $28 or more when you join today for just $1 down, $15 a month. Mix up your routine or create a customized workout plan with free fitness training. That's right. Certified trainers, unlimited sessions with best-in-class equipment. Plus, there's over 2,700 convenient locations to choose from, with most open 24 hours. Save $28 or more today when you join Planet Fitness for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends April 11th. See Home Club for details.
Make sure you tune in every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. for all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman. Learn how the game of youth football has grown in and around the capital city with coaches, athletic directors, and league commissioners telling you all about it. It's All Things Youth Football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
An hour ago, you didn't need a plumber. Now you're in a panic. When life throws you a surprise with a clogged drain, plugged or leaky toilet, broken pipe, leaky faucet or water heater, or a bathroom or kitchen plumbing upgrade, whatever. Just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Keep that number handy, 467-1111. Or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Back to What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
And all right, we're back into What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington here on 93.7 The Ticket. One more quick little segment here, then we'll send it on home. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We just hit a few ones. So to start off, we hit setting goals. On this top 10 list of personal development, embracing continuous learning. We talked a little bit of self-discipline, and then we talked about kind of positive habits, and we kind of hit that from like a emotional, mental, but also physical habits as well. You know, the think, feel, and act. I'll skim through there's a couple more. Building resilience. I like that. And I think that just comes through the test of life, right? Is that there's going to be times, and in my limited experience on earth, there's going to be times where life tests you, and that's a given. And it's your response that matters, right? You know, circumstances don't really matter. It's the state of being. So if we can maintain a certain state of being through these trials, right, and have a certain perspective, I think that builds resilience for the next thing, right? There's a beautiful biblical story of, I believe it's the prophet Elijah, and he has there's this woman, I believe, and I forget the whole details, but her son is about to die. And so the prophet Elijah, lays over the boy and stretches himself wide, right? And breathes into the boy, and the boy was dead, and then he's brought back to life, right? So, if you want to look at that from a literal standpoint, then go ahead. But I think there's a deeper underlying there, because what Elijah had to do next, he had a battle with about, not a physical battle, more like a spiritual battle between him and about 850 prophets, in the coming chapter, right? And so I think the metaphorical side of that is that his faith was, just as he stretched himself over the boy, his faith was stretched so that he could take on those, 850 profits, and so I think there is times in life where we are tested, and I don't think the test is for nothing. I really believe that the test is to actually stretch our faith for what's next, right? And it's never for nothing. There's no coincidences. It's like that's why I think life is so beautiful, and I think the elevated perspective sees everything going on and knows like there's nothing to worry about. I think that's when you go to like the gurus, the monks, the sages, whatever you want to call it, when you tell them your problem going on, and they just have like this elevated awareness that like, hey man, like you really shouldn't be worrying about this. Like, like this is beautiful. Like they'll say, oh, there's you tell them a tragic thing, and their response is, oh, this is beautiful. So I think there is a stretching of faith that happens, and I think once you go through it the right way, there's also a biblical passage that's in James 1 where it says, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, when you face trials of many kinds, knowing that the testing of faith produces perseverance, and perseverance must run its full course so that you may be complete and lacking nothing. So actually the trial and tribulation actually should be celebrated. It should be celebrated, and it sucks because you don't know what's going to happen. And there's that kind of leads to the next point, is the embracing change, because here's what I learned on this journey, and the books don't talk about this as much, is that once Jackson sets out to change, and Jackson is a different individual, he's not going to see himself the same way. And so there's actually like an integration there's like a integration period where you learn your new self. Like you're literally not the same person anymore. So you have to learn your new self, and you have to embrace like there's different things that you're not going to like anymore, and there's different things you're going to like, and there's different people that you're not going to hang around, and there's different places that you won't go, and people may look at you funny. The friends that you used to have, you might not hang out with anymore, right? So I think that's just part of it, and you have to embrace it. But I think it's super painful because I don't want to relate it to like an actual death, but there's a grieving process that happens, kind of, right? You're not the same person. Yeah. It's like, oh man, I used to do this, but now I don't do that, right? But yeah, I think that's beautiful. Then the last one I'll talk about, which is kind of like the males never want to talk about this one. It's the ego gets in the way of this one, but it's emotional intelligence. And something I will be transparent, I lacked completely, and I'm still trying to be better in, is like, oh, I feel something. What do I do with it now?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like that's the hardest one, especially for the athlete or the one who just grows up in that kind of environment where it's, like you work out to get it out, or you go hit someone, or you go get in a fight, or, whatever it is. Right. I think it's the processing of the emotion. Well, at first it's kind of the awareness of the emotion. Like, oh, I feel something, right? And I think a lot of times we don't even know if we feel something as men. And then once we feel it, okay, how do I process this, right? Are we going to suppress this and not talk about it and not feel it? Or are we going to feel it, get it out so we can move on? And I think the suppressed, it's scientifically proven that suppressed emotions manifest imbalances within the body to certain organs, certain places within the body. And, that's how people get diseases, right? Diseases or, imbalances. So that's proven. And obviously nobody wants that. We don't want that. I don't want that for anybody, And so the emotional intelligence, I would say, to like rank them, I would say that's like the top 3. Like goal setting is great, the fun stuff that everyone talks about, but like the emotional intelligence, okay, like why can't I feel a certain emotion? This kind of goes to more so like therapy and stuff like that. But I think a reflection of why we do certain things, especially on the emotional level, I think it's productive. I think everyone benefits, outside of us. I don't think there's ever a situation where you become more emotionally aware, more emotionally intelligent, and you become a worse person. I don't think that's ever happened, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, Chancellor, thanks for coming in, streaming in, I guess I should say,
my God.
this episode of What's Brewing. He's Chancellor Brewington. I'm Jackson Quatra back here in our 93.7 The Ticket Studios. Don't go anywhere. DP's coming back in studio for one-on-one. We'll be right back.